Hello and welcome to an incredibly exciting episode of The Inner Estate. This is part 2 with my guest, Amber Cruse, who graced us with part 1, which is, of course, linked in the description. Now, today, I feel like we're going to discuss the arrival and the expansion. And I just want to remind everyone and bring you up to speed that when we last spoke to Amber, she had manifested and worked towards being under contract on an incredible lakefront dream home. And I asked Amber, would you please come back and share with everyone after it closes and you are in that home and you own it? And guess what? Amber, I'm going to let you take it from here. Can you tell everyone, where are you recording from today?
Oh my gosh, I am filled with so much joy this morning, and I'm so excited to share that I am recording live from my dream home on the lake that I 1,000,000% manifested, and I'm so excited to be here. We did it.
I know. I'm so excited too. It's given me like goosebumps on my legs. It's so exciting to see you on your deck and right in front of the lake. Those of you that are listening on Apple, this one you might want to jump over to the YT so that you can see the visual. It's stunningly beautiful. So Amber, can you tell us, like, how does this feel? Just tell us all of it. Now that you're sitting there in front of that lake, tell us what it was like closing, unlocking that door, knowing that was your address for the first time, having all your things moved in and your son running to his room. Like, walk us through it.
Wow. Okay. Yes, I'm going to try not to cry, but the tears are natural and they're genuine. So just know that everything that I share with you is just coming from my heart. I mean that. So feels it feels unreal at times, and I've pinched myself several times since I've moved here. I've pinched myself. I've had
Yes.
my son pinch me. Like, I'm like, wait, am I awake? Okay, yes, this is real. Okay. Having my first cup of tea on the dock, looking at the water, hearing the natural bouncing of the waves and feeling the breeze go through my hair. Like, this is real time, and it feels amazing. It feels incredible. It feels like I'm supposed to be here too. I've manifested this so much that once we got here, it was like, this is where we were supposed to be all along. And that's how I know it's like manifestation complete for this part. And it's come full circle in a way that I'm so grateful for. So this moment feels absolutely magical and surreal. I've pinched myself several times since moving here. The way that the waves bounce with the wind blowing, and it just like it feels as amazing as it looks. So I'm so grateful to be here, and it feels like manifestation complete, and I'm so grateful. And it also feels like I'm supposed to be here. And that's how
Yes.
I know that manifestation works, because it was literally a journaled thought. And it was literally me walking and saying these things to a poem that never was on the market. Like, there are no
Yes.
coincidences with this whole scenario. So I'm filled with joy today.
And you know what, Amber? May I share with everyone, the sellers, without telling you, left an adorable, nice, good quality sailboat attached to the dock for you with all the instructions. So your son and you're going to be able to use the sailboat they left there. So
Yes.
it's just that it just is amazing. Have you thought yet about what you're going to do to make the home your own and decorating it? Like, are you shifting into that area?
Yes. Yep. We're shifting into the decorations and how we want to get things set up and make it our own. So that's the fun part. And we're trying to just take it one step at a time. But a lot of it has to do with outdoors and adding tiki torches and beautiful lighting to just create that outdoor space that we never want to leave from. It feels like we're on vacation.
Well, let's jump into the manifestation process, okay? Because as you said, this was started as one line in a journal, one
Mm.
thought, in your mind. And now you are sitting on the dock of this amazing house. Can you talk about what shifted internally for you that actually made the manifestation possible? What was it? Was it belief? Was it clarity? Surrender? What was it that shifted?
I think one of the main things that shifted in my mindset for this to all manifest was my mindset turned into I deserve this, right? I deserve this. I know I deserve this. I believe I deserve this. And to surrender, to allow God to guide everything, guide every step of it, and to just claim what's mine. To move with some action, right? To not just say the things and wait for fairy dust to fall, right?
Right.
I say the things, I do the work, and then it happens and comes to fruition. So I think it was belief and knowing that I deserve this, knowing that I am capable and willing to do the work to make this happen and to surrender and to allow however it's supposed to unfold, to know like that core belief, however it's supposed to unfold is how it's supposed to unfold and that there are no mistakes in the meantime. So once
That's
I
right.
surrendered and gave that to God with how can you get this home that's not on the market? Oh, how can you afford this? Oh, how can you be here? No one moves. Oh, how can any how can I surrendered the how can and I said this is my home and God is going to make it happen for me and I surrendered that with clarity.
Yeah, and it was also being detached from the disappointments along the way. Like you accepted graciously when you thought you were going to be able to get it, and then it went away and it came back. If you
That's
listen
right.
to episode 1, we go into that in detail. Another thing, so you really surrendered and you took action. So huge. That's a big part of what's missing for a lot of our friends and colleagues that want to manifest. And like you said, they're sitting cross-legged in the corner waiting for it to fall in their lap. No, ma'am, no, sir, right? During this process, who did you have to become in order for this to occur?
Mm, that's powerful. I had to become, that's a really good question. In order for this to manifest, I had to become, in my opinion, extremely close to God. I had to become this mature woman who adapted to change and someone who was not trying to control it. I had to kind of like surrender that. So I think all those things together um allowed all of this to happen. So yes.
Good. It's the self-perception first,
Mhm.
the self-belief that will allow you to take the actions and be fearless. Because
I
as
think that's
you
one
were
of the
in
biggest
this,
things.
you were so fearless.
I was so fearless. I remember my son's last day of school before I even had this address. I said, "We're moving. I need the registration transfer paperwork because we won't be here for middle school. We're out of here." Like I even while we were under contract, I even changed my address on my driver's license. Like I was fearless. Like this is happening. Come hell or high water. I did all the things. Yes,
I'm going to
100%.
say, Amber, you just gave a shudder of fear to people all across America because if you changed your address, it means you had to go to the DMV. And that means that if anything happened and it didn't close, you'd have to go again. And people are going like, oh, she risked having to go to the DMV twice. But that's how strong your belief was, right?
100%. Super
So that
fearless.
energy, the belief, just doing that it's remarkable. And it allowed you to do everything you needed to do to find this. And by the way, we talked a lot about how you connected with homeowners, how you were present in the community, how you were very clear and direct in your messaging that, yes, I am a real estate agent and I'm looking for my new primary residence and I would love to be in this neighborhood. All of that, which we go into
Mhm.
more detail in part 1. Here's the other part of it, though. When in the fearless part, I remember you and I talking, and I was like, you need to have a meeting with the lender today. Do you have time today? Right. Well,
Mhm.
tomorrow. Right. And then
Mhm.
because some people are even scared of that. And you just did it. You just faced it. You were like, all
Mhm.
right. And you did it. And
Mhm.
I know they asked you for countless things. You got it. They made you do some certain, they gave you a to-do list. You did it. So you just were all systems go because I believe that your energy, your self-perception, and your drive to have it become reality was in alignment with the goal.
100%. Yes. Fearless is the biggest word that I could share. Yes.
Good. Are you ready to switch gears for a minute?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to ask you, what are some of the unintentional consequences or things that happen with manifestation that may not be what you really want, but you're actually creating without knowing it. Let's dive into what they don't tell you about manifestation.
Yeah, what they don't tell you about manifestation is that it's not always pretty. It can be confusing at times if you aren't quite certain with where it's supposed to lead you. Because I can give you an example, right? When I made an offer on the house and she said yes, and then she said, "Sorry, I'm going to rent it for a year," right? I was confused.
Right.
I'm like, this doesn't make sense. This
Yes.
this was going so well, and then the stop sign came up. And like, how do you navigate a 1 year lease where people are moving in? I remember driving by and I saw a U-Haul,
Yeah.
and my heart dropped because I'm like, they're in my house. How do you navigate that?
Right.
There's no way to foresee that something happened which caused them to leave 6 days into their lease. There was no way I could fathom that.
That's right.
So that's the part where there were some sleepless nights. There were some setbacks in my brain. There were some disappointing moments where I'm like, God, I thought this was where my son was supposed to be, right? I thought I visualized birthday parties in this backyard. Like, there's no other home on this water that I wanted
Right.
more than this one. I was like, why, God? And if you've ever seen, there's a meme
Right.
on social media where there's a little girl holding a teddy bear. She's holding a teddy bear and God is taking the teddy bear away from her. And she said, "But I love it, God," right?
Yeah.
And behind God's back was a teddy bear that was enormous, way bigger than this little cute teddy bear that she had in her hand. And she had to surrender and
Right.
know, I'm going to give this to God because he has something even better in store, right? In a way that I can't even see it.
Right.
I didn't know exactly what was
That's right.
behind his back, but that visualization is real life. Like, you don't know what's there. That's also the beauty of life because change is
That's right.
constant. And I remember
Right.
visualizing so clearly. And of course, I said it started with a journaled note. This is my address. Like, this is where I'm raising my son. And then the visualization of, I did a walkthrough and I recorded it and then I put it on my 85-inch TV. And then I walked the circle and I said, this is where I live.
Yes.
I did it so much to the point where it became normal. And as I'm settling in, yes, I keep pinching myself, but I'm like, duh, this is how it was supposed to happen. And then I'm grateful for it. And I
That's right.
just continue to come from a place of gratefulness and appreciation. And I think those that are grateful for the small things and grateful in the hallway before the door opens, those are the people who, in my opinion, the blessings fall on. The blessings come. Like, how grateful are you in the hallway before you have the keys to the door? How grateful are you?
Yes.
I was
Yes.
grateful for my mom's couch. I was extremely grateful for my
Yes.
2-bedroom low-income apartment. I was extremely grateful for my
Yep.
3-bedroom townhouse. So grateful for my first income property and extremely grateful for the dream home. And I knew that there were steps to it. I can't go, well, I knew that it wasn't from mom's couch to the dream home. However, it was going to be in
Right.
the middle. I
Right.
was just going to allow God to just show me exactly how it all is supposed to come together. And a reminder of the rejection
Yes.
is the protection. And that'll help figure out where you're supposed to go. So when it's a no, it's not always, it could be a not yet, right? Or if it's a no, it could
That's
be a
right.
true
That
no.
and
And there's
that's
something else for you. And you have to go with the flow.
well, one of the things that stood out to me is when you had that first disappointment and she had said, yes, I'd love to, you send your offer over and it looked like it was all a yes and you were going to be going under contract and literally within, I think, 24 hours, you get the message of, oh, I decided I'm going to rent it. I'm not ready to let go of the house yet. And you and I actually talked at that time a couple times. And here's what stands out to me. Yes, this property was the best. Best on the lake, best you had seen, perfect location. It was the best. And in hindsight now, you did not allow the best to become the enemy of the good.
Mm,
Because what you did is you time blocked the tantrum, right? So I remember you and I talked and I was like, all right, you're allowed to be upset for another hour and then you got to let it go and you got to figure
yeah.
out your next step.
Yep. Yep.
And you got straight back into action. Straight back into action because the move and the new home, the new school for your son, and being at the lake was the most important. That was the good. So this house was the best. but you were still going to get the good if you didn't get the best. And you ended up writing an offer on another property. And then that's when while that was happening, then this became available again, right?
Yeah.
So, Amber, how easy would it have been when you faced that first disappointment and you thought you were going to get it, and then she said no, and then you saw a U-Haul and people moving into your house? How easy would it have been to just say, oh, well, it's not meant to be. I guess I'm not getting a house by the lake. I'll just stay in my beautiful 3-bedroom townhome. How easy would it have been to give up on the dream because you didn't get the best?
Well, it's so easy to give up on the dream, especially when it's not come to fruition. That's probably the easiest thing you can do is give up on the dream. I could just stay in this house. Is it really that bad? I can afford everything.
Uh-huh.
Like, you can have those limiting beliefs where the setback happens and you're like, "Oh, maybe this isn't supposed to happen. Maybe I'm aiming too high. No one moves on the water. Why would they randomly move this summer when I want a house?" Right? All the self-doubt things, I will not airy fair you and tell you that it never comes into my brain, because it does. We're humans. And so when setbacks happen, disappointment happens, I gave myself a short time to spiral. And then I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be here. So let me pivot, right? Change is a part of life. And so being able to pivot, I think, is a strength that I have developed. It's not a skill that you wake up with and like, hey, I'm a pivoter, right? No, I had to learn how to do that. So then I said, okay, if it's not this home, God, it's on this water. So let me find another home. And then that's when I started
That's
reaching
right.
out to other homeowners, going on other appointments to preview where people actually were saying, yes, come over. Yes, come see my
Yeah.
home. Sure, make an offer. So I started doing the things, and I did start to detach from the outcome. And I said, okay, God, it's either this one or something better is in store, right? Because I don't know what every home on the
That's
water
right.
looks like, but I know I'm going to start to preview them and figure out which one is my home, which one gives me the warm and fuzzies like this
Yes.
one did. And that's when I started to go on
Right.
appointments and see different models and learn and meet more homeowners and figure it out. And I kept it in the back of my mind, but I surrendered and had that peace knowing that I'm going to figure it out. And it's funny because when I was previewing a home, maybe 30 doors down, I pulled up
Mm-hmm.
and I looked around and I'm like, I don't know if this is the one. And when I sat there and parked, the seller of this home texted me and was talking about potentially putting some things together. My heart
Right.
dropped and I got the butterflies again because I'm like, why is she reaching out again?
Right.
What's going on? It was
Yeah.
in the me moving forward period mode and knowing that it's going to happen, that it just started to align. Like, what are the odds that I'm parked outside of this one? And I'm like, I don't know if this is the one, where she texts me in that minute
And
and
she sends
talks
the
about
text. Yeah.
things might not quite pan out. And so I think that is part of the beauty in it too. Another example, not to just think that Amber just manifested this one house. No, I manifested everything in my life. Another example is I just
Yes.
found, well, I'm going to be on the cover of a real estate magazine, and it'll be an August feature. So it'll
Mm-hmm.
be out by the time this podcast airs. Cover of a
Mm-hmm.
magazine is a dream come true. And a couple years ago, I was featured as an agent spotlight. And I'm like, well, what
Right.
do you have to do to get the cover? Like, what are the criterias? Because I'm coming for the cover, right? And they said, oh, Amber, you need this.
Right.
You have to be in the top 50 in the whole Southern Jersey area, which are very high numbers. And you have to, these are the numbers of what we
Yes.
look for a cover feature. And I rocked that like a centerfold, right? It wasn't the cover, but it was a spotlight. So I rocked that a couple years ago. And as I was
Mm-hmm.
doing that and it came out, I said, I'm coming for that cover. I'm coming for the cover. I'm putting it in writing to
Yes.
you all right now. Thank you so much for explaining the guidelines. I'll be on the cover soon. And I'll be on the cover this month when this airs. So that's another example of claiming it, doing the work in the meantime, because they told me you have to be in the top 50 in the
That's
state.
right.
And I'm like, all
Yes.
right, I'm on a mission. Let's go.
Yes.
Top 50, that's no big deal. At that time, I don't know. I was
Yes. We're doing it.
100. Yeah, we're doing it. Let's go. I've manifested claiming that we will be platinum status, which is the highest status that you can earn for an award status in New Jersey, for New Jersey Circle of Excellence. And I remember we were bronze, we were silver, we got to gold. And I'm like, the next step is platinum. I'm like, we can do this. All we have to do is do
We can
about
do it.
20
Yeah.
million at the minimum. And I said, as I was putting our gold sticker on our plaque. I again claimed and manifested. This is the last time I'm putting gold on this thing, on this plaque, because we're coming for platinum and that's what it's going to be. And the next year, I
That's
just
right.
got my plaque in the mail and it's platinum. So it doesn't have to just be tied
Yay.
to this one address or this one thing. You can manifest
That's
anything in
right.
your life. Anything. Yes.
Yeah. And then the rising tide lifts all the boats. So the better you do in one area, other things are able to come to fruition more easily, I'll say. Still a lot of effort, and yet it allows everything to come to fruition.
That's right.
So just let's get practical for a minute. Can you share a few of the very specific actions that you take to make sure you're manifesting constantly? Do you have any daily habits that you do? And maybe not even daily, maybe there's something that you do as a creative outlet, but what do you do every day to continue living in the space of manifestation?
Yes. So every day, I definitely start my mornings with positive affirmations, and that's if it's a hectic day and it's in the car, preferably it's home before the day gets too busy. It happens usually before I open my phone and my laptop and my email to see all the chaos that could unfold for the day, and I claim all the things. So I start off with I move through the day with ease and elegance. Thank you, God, for waking us up. We have another shot at this, right? I can do anything positive that I set my mind to. If anyone can handle today, it's me.
Yes,
Yes, I am a millionaire. I claim all the things that I attract. I'm a millionaire. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm full of energy. I'm on time today. I thank you, God, for the air. I thank you, God, for my health. I thank you, God, and then I just insert things that I am grateful for because it's very hard to be in a
uh-huh.
bad mood and negative when you're being grateful, right? And when I
That's
say I
right.
know that I
Yes,
can handle anything that comes my way, I'll be very frank. When this hits the fan, I already claimed that I can handle anything. So if anyone can handle today, it's
that's
me.
right.
And so
It's you. That's right.
yes, because I don't want anyone watching this to think, oh, wow, lucky Amber, everything happens her way, because that's not true, right? I just
That is not
embrace
true. No,
That's not true. That's not true. I embrace change though, and I changed my mindset. It's a literal skill. Change your mindset. So I was in Bold recently and she was playing some like Beethoven music while we were doing something. And someone's like, what's that music? Can you change it? It's distracting. She's like, change your mindset. This is not distracting. This is
that's
background
right.
music. Get to work, right? So, oh no, like yesterday, I woke up with a flat tire. Change your mindset. Good thing I live close to the area and I got a free tire, right? So when things do not go as the plan, a team member leaves the team, or I have to let someone go, or my client doesn't get the offer accepted, whatever it is, change your mindset because thank you, God, for the protection. Thank you, God, for the guidance. This person wasn't meant to be, on my team in this moment, and they were there for this season, and I'm grateful for that. And I look forward to the next
Yes,
chapter. Like, and that helps me
yes,
where it's almost like nothing can get me down. Nothing can break me at this point, right? I'm going to claim that too.
yes.
Because it's a bunch of guidance. When you change your mindset and realize any no's are just redirection, you give yourself a small window to be upset about it and you just move through it.
You move through it. That's right. That is really amazing. So let's talk a little bit about now that you're here, now that you are talking to me from your own dock in the lake at the lakefront house. Does that just mean like Amber Cruse is going to go, all right, I'm done now. I got the dream house. Let me just sit and wait for life to pass by. No. So what's next? What's the expansion point for you? Like, what are new dreams you've unlocked for yourself?
Yes. So, dreams unlocked, when we were talking about practical things that I actually do with manifesting, one thing I wanted to add was a power of a vision board, right? A vision board
Yes.
is amazing and I do them every year. And when I go back and look at my vision boards and connect dots, it's powerful again. So you have to see the vision. You have to have that vision before anyone else can see it for you. You have to see the vision before anyone else believes it can come true. And you cannot allow others to tell you where you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to do things, because that's actually a choice too. You're giving someone else power over your
That's
life.
right.
and we're going to rebuke that.
Right.
So when you have a vision and you create a vision board, remember I had a diamond ring on the vision board next to Chanel perfume and wedding dresses and me and my fiance's initials well before the proposal. It was on my vision board. Well, the
Right.
night the
Right.
night he proposed to
Right.
me, he gifted me Chanel perfume, which I thought was Christmas gift, followed by the ring. What are the odds that it's next to each other on the vision board with rings and all the things, right?
Right.
No coincidences.
Right.
So this year we did our vision board as a team, right? I would do it with people that you love, people that you work with,
Nice.
people that you care about. Set the mood, cut out things, and just plug away for a few and think about what that looks like for yourself. And give yourself that time. Give yourself an hour or two to create that vision board, and
Mhm.
then post it somewhere that you'll see it every day. So for me, it was in my closet because I stare at what am I going to wear today for for a while. And I look at it and okay, I have that mental note of this is what I'm visualizing for myself. And so for this year, growth, continuous growth, exponential growth, and happiness, family time, and just being more present. All of those things are on my vision board. Also, television. We are manifesting a TV show. We're actually filming a documentary right now,
Okay.
which you'll be part of soon. You don't even know it. And we're going to claim that it's going to be on Netflix. We are just manifesting exponential growth for the team, for myself. And now it's not just a park in the dream home and I'm good. Now it's who do I need to be for this next chapter of my life? I'm so insightful with myself. I don't know. I was a sociology major, so I like to be bird's eye view sometimes and not just be wrapped up in my head. I take
Yes.
constructive feedback and I think about things a lot. So, who do I need to be for this next chapter? Because now I'm blending my family with my fiance, right? It's not just me and my son and my puppy.
Yes.
Now it's me, my fiance. We
Right.
have 4 children together, 2 dogs together. I've never lived in this dream home scenario. I've never had a home of this
Right.
size. I've never had a grass to mow. I've never had
Uh-huh.
all of the responsibilities, right? So now it's not just grab something to eat for my son. We got 4 children and 2 dogs and a husband to make sure
Right.
everything's good for. So I'm walking into this chapter ready to embrace more change, ready to think about if I'm going to be this bonus mom or stepmom to these children, what does that need to look like, right? And I think about
Yes.
my own upbringing. I have a stepmom, I have a stepdad. I've learned things that went well and things that didn't go well. So I want to make sure that things
Right.
go well for them and that they feel all the love and that it's positive energy in our household and our safe space because
Yes.
between my child and his, they're from 11 to 22. So that's a lot and 2 dogs in it.
That's right.
So I'm not just Yasin's mom in this household. I'm also the woman of the house for everybody, which means so for me, I'll be very clear. That means I need to wake up earlier, right? That means I need to make sure
Yes.
everybody's good the night before, and because before it was just me and my little one. No,
Yes.
I need to make sure everybody's organized. For me, that means
That's
I need
right.
to prep dinner and get some crock pot recipes so that no one's hungry. There are more at home responsibilities coming, but I'm embracing that because to be honest, as a single mom with my son, if it wasn't mommy son time, I was just working. I was just plugging away working and
Uh-huh.
working gave me joy, but that is not the end all be all.
Right.
So I'm excited to
Right.
work on how I'm going to balance this better and navigate it so that everybody feels the love, so that I feel the love, so that this chapter is the
Yes.
best chapter of all of our lives. This is it's such an exciting chapter, and knowing that I never have to move again is the icing on top.
That's amazing. So, one other thing that I believe you're manifesting now, you have always had an approach to your career of contributing to those around you. But I feel that's entering a whole new stage. And I believe you're going to be, as you expand your team and you expand to the entirety of New Jersey, as well as Pennsylvania, you're going to help other agents who join your world create success in their life. And I think that's going to be very satisfying for you as well as a leader. So
100%.
it's just so exciting. You're going to have new challenges as you're already a leader, but you're going to add in some new challenges as a leader in work. And then you are claiming that you will make this home. You will be the homemaker, the energy, the flow, the atmosphere and the ambiance. It sounds like you're grabbing that by the horns and you're saying, yes, this will be a home, a retreat, and we're all going to thrive and love it. Won't be perfect, but it's going to
Mhm.
be great. Right.
Mhm.
So
That's
it's just
right.
very, very exciting.
Yeah.
I want to let's tie this to anyone who's listening to us right now.
Mhm.
So if someone's listening to you and I talk, what if they're in a rut, or what if they're in a place where they're like, well, that worked for Amber, and that other lady's not sharing much, but she probably had some of that too. If they're feeling like maybe this isn't for them,
Mhm.
how would you connect what we're discussing and that power of manifestation? How could you connect that for someone who's listening that feels as if it wouldn't work for them or it's not for them?
Yes. So I run into a lot of people who think that this manifesting thing won't work for them. I would say that they need to start with themselves. I would go to a quiet place, maybe by some water, right? With a
Yes.
pen and paper, a pen and like a journal. And I would just start there by just like you got to get that out of your system. You got to get those limiting beliefs out of your mind, out of your active awake brain, right? So I would journal and dump
Hmm.
all that onto paper and just get it out, right? All the negative things that you're telling yourself and that you're thinking, I would start by just journaling it all because that's fair. That's a safe space. That is okay.
Right.
There have been times that I wrote in my journal, like, I don't know how this is going to work out, or I don't know if this is in vain. I don't know if this is ever going to happen for me because of lifing and not knowing exactly how a breakthrough moment will happen. But I'll be very honest, like I know everyone listening may not know me, but when you're a good person, good things are going to be inevitable, right? And you can't keep a good person down. My family, my close immediate family, we've gone through death. We've gone through cancer, right? We meaning my close family, and we pray
Right.
through it, right? Knowing that we've gone through cancer, my son went through some bullying, we've went through some racist stuff, like we've been through some challenges and we didn't succumb to the nonsense. We didn't succumb to the devil. We didn't succumb to the bull stuff. We did not succumb
Right.
to the challenges. We rose above. We prayed through it. So if you're in a rut and you're like, I don't know what to do, but something is just not right, I would start with the journal, purge all those thoughts, get it out there. And then I would say something that was powerful for me, if I were to blank, what would I need to do? Right. So for me, I used to say, if I were to be a luxury agent when my sales prices were like 200,000, if I were to be a luxury
Hmm.
agent, what would that need to look like? And start thinking about a future person because you may not see it for
Yeah.
yourself today. If I were to be a millionaire, what would my schedule need to look like? If I were to gross a
Yes.
million dollars in real estate, what would my schedule need to look like? Can I sit up and watch TV today? Do you think that's really what that would need to look like? Probably not. And start to think about the if I were to, right? If I were to be healthier, if I were to lose 50 pounds, what would my life look like? That means I would have to carve out
Hmm.
some time to work out. I would carve out time to eat healthier. I would carve out time to prep my meals. So come from that space because if you're not presently in tune with it happening for you now, if I were to, and then fill in the blank and then start to journal what that would look like. And then start to
Right.
look at that daily and think about from the if I were to's, from the what it could look like, what are three action steps I can take today or this week, right? And plan so that I can get closer to my goal. So for me, if I were to live in this neighborhood, what would I need to do? Action steps were, well, I need to find some homeowners who want to sell, right? I need to
Right.
call
Right.
people and find out or door knock and get in front of people to find out because they're not just going to randomly, I'm not going to wait for it to pop up on the MLS. If
Yeah.
I were to, I would need to um, get my finances in order and make sure I can accommodate this in a comfortable way and with my spouse? And what am I going to do with my other property that I lived in and his other property? So if we were to do these things, we started to really break down numbers like, oh, well, I could rent this for this, and you can rent yours for that. And we have this other property,
Uh-huh.
right, that we lived and raised our children in. And I'm being very vulnerable and transparent to say, if we were to do these things, and then once we put it all in paper, we're like, we got this. It's not as
Right.
big of a mountain as it looks when you just throw out this sales price, these taxes, this monthly payment, this whatever.
Right.
It's digestible. So take it with chunks and think about those action steps. Okay, so I'll list my home for rent. I'll list yours for rent. And that's what we're doing now. We're about to sign leases for our properties. We're going to manifest that our tenants will be in August. And that'll be a part of if
Great.
we were to live here, if we were to thrive here, how would that need to look? So just know, like, I'm walking the walk. I practice what I preach. I'm not giving you some mumbo jumbo to go figure it out. So those
Right.
things should
Right.
definitely help get you into the framework. Therapy is also very helpful and therapeutic. I'm not in therapy at this time, but I know so many people who've benefited from it because we know that people have different traumas and were raised different ways, where sometimes those limiting beliefs are literally embedded where they can't even overcome it from journaling, right? They need to
Correct.
do
Yes.
a little bit more inner work and some more self-discovery and some more mindset work to get there. And that's okay too, right? And you can journal that. I'm not where I want to be right now, but I'm going to get there. And I'm going to start with scheduling a consult with my therapist to get through traumas that I've been through in my life. Or I need to set up a meeting with my CPA because my finances are out of whack. I need to set up the meeting
Right.
with my
Right.
financial advisor. I need to get a coach, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't know what you don't know. So leverage and seek help with others and don't think that it's all on Amber. It's all on you to just figure all this
That's
out,
right.
right? Kobe Bryant, when he was the best, did he have a coach? He had a coach. Did Michael Jordan have a
Absolutely.
coach?
Yes.
The best of the best have coaches, right? So that's another thing. Coaching
Yeah.
costs blank, right? Well, I can't afford not to have a coach at this stage in my life
The
because
same
it's
for me. Yeah.
right. I can't afford not to. So it's an
Yeah.
investment in yourself. So don't be scared to invest in yourself and bet on yourself, because you betting on yourself is the most powerful tool, more than anyone betting on you. So that
Agreed.
definitely should help.
Absolutely agreed. I want to take what you gave as the example of do that brain purge, where you write everything down, any of your limiting beliefs, any like thought that you have around it. And a great question for yourself, truly, if you are feeling, I hate it, Amber, you know how I am. Sometimes there's words I don't even like to say out loud. Even if you're feeling right now very overwhelmed, make the whole list. And then a question to ask yourself is, out of all of this, what is one that I could take action on today, even if it's a small step, that
Mm-hmm.
my future self will thank me?
Mm-hmm.
And even if I'll use an example because I actually messed up the tag registration on one of my vehicles. And I was like, do I have to schedule the DMV, whatever, and I was like, and it was inadvertent. So I was like, what did I do? I wasn't just taking care of it. And so I just stopped myself one day and I was like, enough with the tag situation. And
Mm-hmm.
all I did was ask a friend for a contact at a tag service place. So I didn't have to go to the DMV. And I called them and said, do I need an appointment or stop in? They said, you can just stop in. That one phone call, even if you just made the one phone call, that starts the stacking of little
Mm-hmm.
wins.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Tag situated. So even if you're feeling overwhelmed, just look at that list and find one thing and ask yourself, out of all of this, what will my future self be so thankful that I took care of today, even if I made one step?
Yes. Yes. I
Yeah.
love that so much.
So when you think about manifestation, a lot of people think that it's just woo woo, that it's like, I'm going to sit in a lotus position and I'm going to say, I am going to marry my soulmate and I'm going to have $5 million and a dream house and an Aston Martin. And then they're just going to sit there and meditate and vibrate and kablam, it's going to happen. That is not true. There's hustle involved.
Mhm.
So one of the things I was thinking about before our conversation is like how would you how would you discuss like manifestation versus the hustle?
Mhm.
How do you find the balance between that?
Well, the balance between manifestation and hustle, it's like a dance and they're intertwined because for me, a lot of what I'm manifesting has to do with my company, my real estate business, which is all hustle because we all know in real estate, you don't sell a house, you don't get paid. So I think
Correct.
because I witnessed my mom growing up, she was always a hard worker. Right now, she still works 2 jobs. God bless my mother. That grit was intertwined. It was like it rewired my brain as at a young age. My first job was at 15 at a grocery store as a bagger. Um,
Hmm.
and I always had that grit where the hustle was I was okay with the hustle, right? I never grew up with a silver spoon in my mouth, and so I knew in order to get anything I wanted in life, I had to work for it. There was never any handouts and just build things brick by brick. So, seeing the hustle the hustle continues. The hustle never ends, and I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. And there are some
Hmm.
people that aren't okay with that, and their dreams might be different from mine, and that's okay too.
And that's okay too. That's right.
And that's okay, yes, but the hustle is what keeps us going. Yesterday, I didn't wanna leave our dream house home. We just got back from Jamaica, actually, and I was like, "I don't wanna go out to what I have to go do. I wanna stay home. I just love this house. I don't wanna leave." And I got myself together, took my deep breath, and I'm like, no, it's hustle time. This is time, right? It's time to work hard to keep the house, right? Work hard to continue
Yes, yes.
to decorate and all the things. Like, let me go sell this house and be
Right.
quiet, right? So you gotta trust me. I don't wake up every day just excited and thrilled to go lead generate, right? That's not how I don't think it's rare to find someone wired that way, but the hustle is what helps the manifestation happen, right? Me kicking my feet up
Right.
is not going to
Right.
help me get any closer to the goal. So wake up with the hustle mentality. Wake up staying hungry no matter how much money's in the bank account or whatever your
That's
dream
right.
is. Wake up, even if the goal is to lose 50 pounds and you wake up, that could be hustle too. All right, I got to hustle my butt to the gym, right? And I got to carve out my 30 minutes to
Right.
my
Yes.
hour or do whatever that needs to be. Continue to think, what can I accomplish today that'll set it up for success and the rest of the day? Like, what is the one thing I can do today where doing it will set up the rest of the day for success? And it's usually one of the bigger,
Right.
hairier, scarier things of the day. Just get it out the way. Just get it done.
Get
And
out of the
that'll
way.
keep it
That's
going.
right.
Yep. Yep. It's like a domino. So
That's
think
right.
about what's the big domino that I can push today and have today be a success. And you wake up early, you get it done so that I can get the appointment done and get back home to the dream home. Or you can get back home and watch your TV episode because you went to the gym. Whatever that looks like for
That's
you,
right.
the hustle can't go
Right.
away. That's one thing I can't teach people. I cannot teach someone how to stay hungry. So think about you have to tie it to your why. Why do you want to live
Yes.
on this lake,
Yes.
right? Who cares about a lake? What's the big deal, right? Some people might feel that way. So tie it to your
Right.
why. And if you don't have the why, then of course it makes no sense. Of course it makes no sense for
That's right.
anything.
Yeah. Then, yeah.
Right, right. Why would I want to lose weight?
When you don't have the big why and you don't tie it to your actions every day, that is literally like getting in your car and just starting to drive with no idea where you're going. Now,
Exactly.
if you're going on a Sunday meander because you just want to check out areas around you that you don't know, perfect, go do
Right,
that. But in
right,
terms of building your life, the life of your dreams, that's a big mistake. And you can lose a lot of time, momentum, and energy when you are not knowing what you're driving to.
right.
Yeah. So that's really critical.
Yes.
I feel like one of the things that really throws people off, and again, if I'm thinking about people that might be listening where the dream feels too far away, and a lot of people get wrapped up in it will take too long. But Amber, it will take too long. Would you mind if we recap? And anyone who listened to part one knows you were staying on your mom's sofa and your son was living with you and your mom. And then you progressed through, as you mentioned, the apartment and then buying your first townhome, buying your first investment property, and now buying this. Can you give people an idea? How many years are we talking about? What year were you on the couch? And now it's 2025.
Yes, I was on the couch in 2017. So it's been about 8.5 years, and it took a long time. But sitting on my mom's couch 8 years ago, because I can still visualize it so clearly. And if you were to do like a time jump or a flashback, like where I started versus where I am today, you can do that and think about like where do I want to be in 5 years, right? And where I was 5 years ago, it's powerful. There's another thing that I saw where it says like if you could think about where you were 5 years ago versus where you are today, like
Yeah.
that's powerful, right? And so I
It's
thought about where
amazing.
I was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I was just meeting you. I think I may have just gotten kicked off of a team. I was riddled
Yeah.
with fear and self doubt. I was in my low income apartment. I had barely had enough money or furniture to get it together, but I was hungry. I had the hustle. I had the mindset. I leveraged and knew I need a coach because I want to get somewhere else from where I am. And I was grateful in the hallway. I was grateful in my
Right.
apartment. I was just grateful for the small things. And that when that prepares you for the big wins, where it's like, thank you, God. I deserve this and I worked for it. It feels really good when you work for it. I don't know where I would be if it was just handed to me 8 years ago. I probably wouldn't even have been able to fathom this. And there are chapters
Right.
in
Right.
everyone's life where they have to accept where they are, where they want to be. So make your 5 year plan. I even make a 1 year plan, right? I write a letter to myself every year saying, today is such and such date. 1 year from now, I'm going to be so grateful when I read this letter because I mail it to myself. When I read this letter a year
Hmm.
from now, the following things will be accomplished. And I can't wait to get my letter in the mail for what I wrote last year. I don't even remember what I wrote. But one of the things that I wrote a couple years ago is when I read this letter a year from now, my bonus son's cancer will be gone. It will be in remission and he will be cancer free. And I thank you, God, because he's about to start chemo. And I'm claiming that when I read this letter a year from now, he will be healed. And don't you know, when we
Good.
opened that letter, he was healed. And he just got back from another session, doctor's appointment, where they said, you're good, you're cancer free. And I just thank God in the hallway. That's why I say you can't keep good people down for long. We've been through things. So I'm not just this
Right.
lucky duck. Things happen and we pivot and we're grateful for things in the hallway. So when I say I'm grateful for my health and my family's health, I mean that.
Right. Right. So
Mhm.
it's just very compelling. That's a great activity that people can do. How do you set it up where you mail it to yourself the year later? Tell people exactly how you do that.
Well, I usually take an annual class called Bold, and in the class, we write the letter to ourselves and we give it to our coach, and they send it in the mail a year from then. But you can also do it literally within yourself, your friends, your family. Write the letter, seal it up, put the stamp, give it to someone else that you trust to give a time stamp reminder to put it in the mail a year from then. Send it to you.
Yes.
Another thing you can do if you're not
Yes.
if that's too much, start simple and start with a detailed letter, type it up in an email. You can schedule send a year from now. So you type it up,
That's
you
right.
claim the things that you want, you schedule send a year from now, send it, forget about it, move through it. And a year from now,
Yes.
you'll get an email and it'll say the same thing. So if you don't want to get the postage, don't worry.
Right. Yes. And I even have a couple of clients. One does it with their assistant. So they give it to their assistant, and they forget about it in the day-to-day hustle, right? And then I also have a couple of clients where they have a specific box, just a narrow, skinny box, and they write it, they put it in there, and then they put that box in their least convenient drawer that they never go into, in a buffet in their dining room or, a drawer. And then they set a Google Calendar reminder to themselves for 12 months. Because we need an event. They set a Google Calendar event for themselves to say, go get your box, read your letter. And they put a reminder in the description of where they put it. So there's ways you can do that. I find that to be, I mean, Amber, I don't know about you, but I'm almost, and I'm not a big crier, but I do cry. But that reading that letter in the future that I wrote to myself a year ago almost always touches my emotions.
Yes, every single time. And if something doesn't come true on your letter, it's okay.
Right, right.
That happens too. There were some times where I opened it and I was like, oh, I should have a black Range Rover by now. And
And
it's
it's
okay.
okay.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's okay. And you add it to the next letter or, you pivot if you need to, but it's always definitely brings emotions because it's not just about material things, just to be clear. It's about where you want to be as a person, your whole self. So it's never shallow. Think deeper, go three layers deep and think like, sure, you want a Range Rover, sure, you want a house, sure, you want this or that, but why? Just
That's
continue
right.
to tie it to the why and go deeper with the why. When you think you have the why, ask yourself, why do you want that maybe 3 more times? Or have someone ask you that maybe 3 more times just to say, like, why? So
Right.
my why has always been to be a happy, independent mother to my son, because there were times where I was dependent on others for financials and on others for housing and for all the things. And there were times that I was absolutely not happy with my life in general. So that has been my why for years, and it will continue to be.
Time for a set change. Amber, I know that everyone loves seeing the lake behind you and the beautiful Jersey blue skies, but I am sure there's people that would love to see a snippet of your beautiful new kitchen. So can you go ahead and, through the magic of editing, jump into your kitchen? Excellent. Okay. So, Amber, we have really covered a lot of big topics today. And I know that we did start honing it in for our listeners on thinking about what you could do in 5 years or what you could do in 8.5 years, which, by the way, it's very funny. Time perception is so different to every individual. When you say 8.5 years and you said, so it was a long time, in my mind, I went, what? In 8 years, she went from 8.5 years, she went from being on the couch to getting her own rental, to buying a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, beautiful, by the way, and either new or fairly new construction, beautiful townhome in a great school district, to buying her first investment property, to now buying the dream home. To me, I was like, that's short. So to me, that seems short. However, so I say that because if any of you are listening and you're thinking like, well, that was long or that was short or whatever, your perception's okay. What I would just say is time will pass regardless. Whether you decide to manifest for yourself starting today, wherever you are, and create 8.5 years from now what you want to be, whether you do it or not, you're still going to be 8.5 years older. That period of your life will be gone. Um, it, time is relentless. Okay, so it just have that awareness that when you're going for something so big, so meaningful, so important to your big why, that if it takes you 5 years, it takes you 8.5 years. Frankly, Amber, even if it took 10 years, you still
Okay.
achieved it. So
Right.
don't let the time stop you.
That's right.
Amber, you and I just now, we talked about the 8.5 years and the 5 years. Um, Gary Keller has a saying that he repeats often of, he says, we overestimate what we can do in 1 year and we underestimate what we can do in 5.
Right.
Now, years post-COVID, Amber, would you agree that people's attention spans, patience level, focus factors have all possibly gotten shorter? It'll
100%.
Okay. All right. So what I wanted to leave every listener with today, this is a challenge that Amber and I want to share with you. Just think about 30 days, okay? So write down where you were 30 days ago. Add in details. What were you driving? Was your car clean? What's happening with your house? Did your dining room table look the way you wanted it to? Do you even have a dining room table? Are you an eat-in kitchen? Where's your organization? How do you look? How are you dressing? Are you going to bed when you want to? Are you waking up? So go in detail. Set a timer for half an hour. Sit down, as Amber, you said before, grab a journal, go outside or sit in your favorite chair in the house. Just start writing. I like putting on bossa nova music, jazz, Beethoven, put on some music low and just describe your life literally 30 days ago. So and you might be sitting there, oh, nothing changed. Yeah, it has. Do it. Write it down as in much detail as you can. Then take a little break. Say, okay, where do I want my life to be 30 days from now? So you and I are recording this July 31st. So we would just put August 30th. Describe exactly how you want your life to be August 30th. Amber, what's powerful about just breaking it down into a 30-day period?
That just moved me, and I want to journal my next 30 days. It's powerful because you're taking something that can be a humongous thought, a humongous edit. It's powerful to break it down into 30-day chunks. I'm even inspired to do the same for myself right now because it makes something that can be a lot to consume digestible, right? Okay. A
Yes.
year is a lot. I have no idea where I want to be in a year, right? You might not know even what your career path might be. But if you think about 30 days, that's something where we can look at a calendar and there's just 30 little chunks, right? And
Right.
for each day, and you can think about what's my schedule, and then you can say, okay, what if I were to be changed and get closer to your goal, what are some things that you can actually do and write into your calendar for the next 30 days to move you closer to the goal? And closer to the goal, like you said, it could take a 5 year, it could take 8 years. When you think about it, Bridget, it actually is powerful to go from broke to comfortable, I'll say, in your dream home in 8.5 years. And
Yes.
it's almost like God whispered, like everything's going to be okay when I was at the broke stage. Cause I was never in fear. Like I was never, well,
Right.
let me rephrase that. I was never in fear that crippled me. I was
Yes.
never like hiding under a blanket to the point where I couldn't move through the next step. So
Right.
I always knew it was going to be okay. Just knew, so for people listening, know that everything is going to be okay. And in the next 30 days, you can take something that could be a big thing to digest and break it down a little bit smaller. What can you do today? What can you do tomorrow? And what can you do next week, etc., for the next 30 days to get a little bit closer and start to, I would literally plug some things into the calendar. And then you can micro your day into a day. All right, what can I accomplish today? And then you can chunk it down and say, all right, I've got 2 hours to plan towards my goal, and just set a timer, turn on your music, like you said, and actually do the things, and then go
Yes.
about the rest of your day and go to work and do what you got to do for your family. And if 2 hours is too much, take an hour, and
That's
an
right.
hour each day, do something towards the goal.
Towards
And
the
then
goal.
30 days from then, relook at your list and you'll see, wow, this is powerful. There's powerful in doing it because change is inevitable. Time is going to fly anyway. Make the memories, set the goals, do the things, do the work, and embrace it.
Yeah. Well, this has been just such an amazing conversation. I want to thank you so much for showing us your incredible lake and giving us a sneak peek in on the kitchen, which those cabinets are my favorite color cabinets, by the way.
Thank you.
It is stunning.
Thank you.
And we would love to have you back again because, as you said, the manifestation does not end with now you have this new address. It is really a new beginning and you're moving forward. So, I would love it if you would come back as a guest. And, now that you manifested your dream home, I know your vision's getting even bigger. And I'm
Yes.
sure that everyone would love to hear what's happening. Would you come
Yes.
back as a guest?
I would love to come back. Thank you so much for
Excellent.
having me. It just feels so powerful to know. The last time we recorded this, it was over 30 days ago, and I was claiming how I would feel when I'm sitting here talking to you, like jumping forward in time in this moment, Bridget. Like I literally said this on part one, that I would be in my kitchen talking to you 30 days from now
That's
in
right.
my dream home, and I'm sitting here in it. Like we're like pinch. There's
Amber,
power
I'm going
in
to
your
share with
words.
everyone. You and I actually scheduled this call on that day.
Yes, we
Well,
did.
I was
And
like,
we
"Do you have your
said that you're
calendar
going to be
handy?
there.
All right,
Yes.
let's schedule." We just scheduled it.
Yes.
So anyway, Amber, if
Before the clear to
someone wants to
close.
reach out to you, please Instagram,
Yes.
Fastest and Best, right?
Yes.
And an amazing channel, such an inspiring channel to follow. Any
Thank you.
final thoughts?
Final thoughts are to just believe in yourself. They tell us that when we're in kindergarten, but really believe in yourself. Really allow yourself to be vulnerable. Really allow yourself to take your dreams and goals to the next level and believe it, and start to say those affirmations. If you could take one thing away, is to plan your next 30 days, like you said, write a letter to yourself a year from now, create that vision board, and move as if you were the person that you want to be, and watch your life change.
Well, thank you so much. And I hope you'll come back and listen to the next episode of The Inner Estate. Amber, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you so much.